Welcome to Eternal Virtues.
Hey guys, Eternal here, and I'm here with the first ever DxD lore video, and it's gonna start with Rias Gremory. Yes, Rias Gremory to start off, and it's appropriate since she's the main heroine of the DxD series and the main love interest of Issei. Now with Rias, it's kind of a simple thing to go over and gloss over, really, and she's a very attractive redhead, and she's among the very high monarchy of the devil family, and a lot of people, including myself, think that she's very overrated, but she has a genuine and nice character that makes her stand out, among the group. But she has a lot of insecurities when it comes to her status as within the Gremory family, because she wants to be treated as an individual rather than be treated, from her last name. And since season 1, she was kind of standoffish. She was very, I wouldn't say mysterious, but she was very distant. She was very reluctant to really socialize with anyone besides Akano and the members of the Occult Research Club. But when she met Issei, she's like, she piqued her interest somewhat, and then that eventually grew, and then eventually grew into love, and then she wanted him to be her partner, her boyfriend. And I guess in season 1, when I first watched it, it seemed like it was rather rushed. I don't know if anyone else felt the same way, but to me it felt rushed because I felt like they didn't have enough time to really develop the relationship, or we didn't get enough scenes with them too. It only ended in pervertedness or fan service between them, not genuine heartfelt moments. The only heartfelt moment that I can remember watching from season 1 was when they were training for the rating games, when Riser's parents came into the Occult Research Club and they had their banter, and then Issei said some stuff and then Riser said some stuff, and then it ended up being that they're gonna fight each other over Rias being married to Riser. And when they were having the training session and Rias decided to go out in the middle of the night and have a stroll, and Issei happened to be there, and then they had their one-on-one talk, and then Issei says, "I don't care what your last name is, I don't care how high you are ranked on the devil hierarchy, you will always be Rias, and I like you for who you are," and then nothing will ever change that. And then that was the first time she's shown, I feel like, honest, genuine love interest in him after he stated that, because that's exactly what she wanted, is someone to see her for her and not for what her status can do to improve their life. And I think that was the first sign that she genuinely started to look at him in a different light, aside from trying to sleep with him and do all this and tease him because she knows he's a pervert. I feel like that was the first genuine heartfelt moment in season 1 that hinted to Rias down the road developing something for him. I feel like it would have been a really better payoff if they kind of did the fight in season 2, leave season 1 on a climax, Rias gets taken, and then now Issei has to go through training and such to develop his balance breaker and save her. Season 2, it would have been great. It would have been great because in season 2 they would have had Rias who's getting ready to marry Riser, and she's going through all this turmoil and everything, and then it can be the last bit of season 1 where the Occult Research Club comes together, and they go over the loss and what it's done, and now Rias is put in this position. How are they going to get her back? It would have been good banter for the entire of the Occult Research Club, and for Rias, not Rias, and for Issei to develop more as a character and get to know Akano and everyone else within the Occult Research Club a lot better. It would have felt more, I guess, genuine in terms of just the whole situation, because when I first watched it, I thought it was cool that he broke in and that he stopped the engagement and everything. But when I looked at it when I got older, I was like, well, it would have been a better payoff if they did that in season 2, in the first couple of episodes maybe, or showed montages of him training and trying to develop that, instead of just out of the gate sacrificing his arm for Drake. It'd have been really cool to see him actually try to train and gain and get stronger and possess that. Then you can go into that, not just right away. There we go, right away, and then it's a one hitter quitter, all of that, and it's done. You know, I felt like that would have been a better payoff for season 2. Then it would have been a nice kind of cliffhanger to kind of segue into Akano's, you know, story and her background and what her family was like and her trauma and her backstory. That would have been a great segue, because then not only would you have finished Rias's arc in terms of, you know, spreading it out, sprinkling seeds in season 1, and then her finishing, you know, in a couple episodes of season 2, but then now we move on to Akano, who's the queen. You know, it would have been very appropriate for that, and it would have, you know, segued into season 3 and all of that. Then they go into, you know, Norse mythology and such things like that, you know, and so on and so forth. It would have just been better paced in terms of that, better paced, and you get more out of it, and then you grab the audience's attention. You know, that's just me personally. I don't know if you guys feel the same way or not. You guys may feel differently on that, but that's how I feel about it. I felt like that would have been better structured if they did it sort of like that. It would have gave the audience more reason to, I need to get season 2. I need to get, you know, things like that. It would have been great to leave off for season 1. You know, Rias has to marry Riser, and what is Issei going to do, or the Occult Research Club is going to do to get her back? You know, they would have segued into that, and then people would have been like, oh crap, I got to look up season 2, you know, all of that. But in terms of her family, they're very well characterized and developed. Sir Zex, you know, Sir Easter Zex, there's nothing to go on there. He has limited screen time. Graphia, I feel, has character, but she's kind of like the Ice Queen in a sense, but not really. But that's just how she's portrayed. Grace's mom is really nice and cool. You know, she's you know, gotten a few screen times here and there. You know, Issei hinted that her mom looks amazing, and Rias gets mad at that, but the mom genuinely likes that because maybe her husband doesn't look at her the same way. I don't know. It's a lot. It seems when Rias hits on the mothers that they genuinely enjoy that because maybe they don't get that too much from the husbands. I don't know. I guess it's a double hierarchy thing, but in terms of her abilities, you know, power of destruction, they haven't really dived too much in her abilities and what she could possibly do solo. Like, she works better with the group and in tandem with them, not so much by herself. Like, Sona has her beat in that, and I'm sure Akano does too, even though they portray them as even. I feel like Akano would probably best Rias if it came down to a one-on-one fight, because she has more versatile attacks, more versatile abilities that she can use since she's an elementalist. That's just me in terms of versatility. We don't really get a lot of detail and clarity of how Rias's power works and what it exactly does. All we know is that it just does destruction, but you know, and we don't really see her train or develop anything new in terms of her abilities. So she's kind of stunted in that aspect, but you know, she doesn't really get time to shine, like fight one-on-one with anybody really. So we can't really like speculate on that too much. But in terms of just her as a character, she develops along with Issei, and it becomes a, you know, she likes Issei and she wanted him for sacred gear, and she, you know, it kind of was out of nowhere, because it's like, you know, they don't really go into depth of why she at first likes Issei until he gets his sacred gear a couple episodes later. It would have been better if they clarified why she saved him and turned him into a devil, instead of her just magically showing up and just doing it on a whim, and we don't know why. We have to figure it out with ourselves. But I felt like it would have been probably a little bit better if they drawn it out, you know. But you know, it is what it is, and it worked out the way it is for the most part. I feel like later on in like season 3, season 4, Rias kind of was like, she was kind of annoying to me, because she would always doubt Issei. Like, she would always doubt her place in the ranking and the hierarchy of you know, Issei, in terms of just who he cares about, and he tries to show genuine affection for everybody equally, because he doesn't want to leave one of them out. And she gets upset when Akano tries, you know, Konoko and different people, and she's like, Issei, what do I mean to you? And he says, President. And she wants him to call her Rias. And, you know, she should understand how he is, because he's stated on multiple occasions throughout the seasons that that she is his number one, his first love, and she will always be his favorite. That's cut point blank, cut as day. She shouldn't question a thing, because he stated it multiple times. Even though I feel like that attention should be with Akano, because, you know, she has the best backstory, I feel, and just what she had to overcome, what she had to deal with as a child, and what she's turned out to be now. Brilliant. Just it was executed beautifully. Like, if Rias wasn't the main girl, Akano would be the main girl in terms of just development alone. In the Occult Research Club, Akano has everybody beat. She's number one. Like, no questions asked, nothing. Just clear cut. Akano has the best backstory among the group. And, you know, for the first time, you know, and I'll explain more on that when I make an Akano video as well, just going into depth of what Issei has done for her in terms of her character development and you know, transforming her into, you know, who she is now. But for Rias, it's clear cut, and it's pretty much, you know, from start to end, you know, she's loves him dearly, and when he quote unquote died in season 3, she was devastated. I don't know if she was gonna commit like suicide. It kind of looked like it, but, you know, she didn't fully go through with it. I don't know. It was something to that agree. But in terms of that, you know, her feelings are pretty much out there. It's well known. She just gets mad because she always questions herself within Issei and about, you know, if he, you know, loves her, and if she is his first, which she knows she is, because he always says it whenever it gets bad. He always restates that, yes, Rias, you are my number one. That will never change. You were the first girl I ever loved, and I've always thought you were beautiful. You know, things like that. And in season 3, in the last couple episodes, they solidified that with a kiss. But even then, she still questions her placement, and it gets annoying. It gets repetitive, because it's like, Rias, you should know by now how Issei feels. Stop trying to hog him. It's like, you know, let some of the characters get some of the Issei time, please. You know, she did the same thing when Akano wanted a date with Issei, and then it just, you know, it's like no one gets one-on-one time without the group somehow tailing them or following them, listening in. It always ruins the moment, because you know that 1 or 2 or 3 of them are listening in on the conversation. And it's truly not a one-on-one. And it sucks. It sucks because if we have more of those in the series, it would be great. It would really help the series in general. But in terms of what Rias offers to DxD, she's the main heroine. She's the main, you know, her family is the full front of the devil hierarchy, and, you know, it revolves around her family in some way, shape, or form with Sir Zex and the other high devil families like, you know, Sona or any of the hires. What I see going at 4th is they're probably going to dive more in the Norse mythology and such things like that, and other mythos. Probably in season 5, we'll just have to see. You know, it's speculation at this point, but we can probably go off of the light novel and figure out what they're gonna do for season 5. But that's really all I have for Rias. It was pretty easy, you know, nothing concrete, nothing like super complicated to go over with Rias. It's pretty much, you know, set in stone how she feels, you know, from season 1 all the way up till now, and it's pretty much easy to figure out and watch just from watching the anime and seeing her interactions and how she is. But I hope you guys enjoyed it. Look out for Anako. It should be coming out today or tomorrow morning, whenever I have time, since I have to hang out with my father and such and such. But it's either going to come out later tonight or tomorrow morning, so keep an eye out for that. But anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed, and I hope you have a wonderful day wherever you live. And this is Eternal, signing out.